I mean, it looks like this thing might come back with a vengeance in this election, right? As soon as we get over the COVID and we get over the rioting, I think they're already making noises about this, right? About Russia getting ready to hack the
Yep.
election boxes in all the states. And so, I mean, seems like it's already queued up for the Democrats to deploy, right? Do you see that coming?
There was just an article in the New York Times looking at how, if you remember a few months ago with the Iowa caucus, it got ruined by this shadow app.
Right.
And, because Robbie Mook, the former Clinton campaign manager, was involved with this institute that worked with the people who developed the app, there was a rumor that Robbie Mook was behind this app. And it spread on Twitter pretty quickly. And Robbie Mook was one of the people blamed for that app malfunctioning. And this New York Times article came out this week, says that Russia was instrumental in amplifying that theory. And the proof they have for that is there's one account, some random Twitter account with 1,200 followers. And on the night of the Iowa caucus, it says that account retweeted a message, another tweet saying that Robbie Mook was behind the shadow app. And not long after that, RT wrote a tweet also saying a similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that, according to the New York Times, is proof that the Russians were stoking this conspiracy theory and behind it, even though they don't even know whether this random account they picked is even Russian. Their evidence for that is that it often tweets during Russian working hours, and it follows a bunch of Russians, and it amplifies messages that are favorable to the Russian government. That's their evidence. But even if this one account is Russia, can you imagine how dumb it would look for a New York Times to write an article about a Twitter user in any other country and trying to blame them for the spread of a story because some random account retweets something? That means that the Russians are responsible for this. I mean, it's just, it gets more and more insane. And, and you see that also with the troll farm. There was this effort to portray this as a sophisticated Kremlin intelligence operation to deceive Americans and turn us against ourselves.
Yeah.
But really, you look at the reality of those posts, and it's like most of the posts had nothing to do with the election. Most of the posts were, ran after the election. And most of the posts were juvenile memes. They were dumb. And, very few people even saw them. But yet this was portrayed in American propaganda as a sophisticated Russian propaganda. And it's still widely believed. There were Senate hearings on it. There's been a whole Senate report. It's just, I've never seen anything like it where something so ridiculous can be treated with such seriousness. Like, at least with Iraq WMDs, even though it was fiction, the picture, the possibility of Saddam, this bad guy, having weapons, that's at least you could sell that as a threat. Here, they're literally selling like Twitter accounts and dumb puppy memes and Yosemite Sam memes and Jesus memes and Buff Bernie memes as akin to 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. I've never seen anything like it.
I haven't either. And, my first thought, so you don't dispute that Russia put something into the election in the United States, right? I mean, I don't. I believe that they put like whatever it was, the tiny bit of money into those stupid Facebook ads. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I 100% acknowledge that.
Yeah. Right. But
which makes it even funnier to think that this was somehow a threat to the election when you look at the reality of what those ads were.
Well, it also makes it funnier to think that Russia's a threat in any way if that's what they did. I mean, if that's what our chief adversary is doing to us, then we have nothing to worry about because it's the work of sixth graders, basically. With a Facebook.
I mean, there's the stolen emails as well. Somebody did steal those emails. Right. I increasingly doubt that it was the Russian government. The case that Mueller put out has a bunch of holes that I've written about.
Yeah.
So if I had to bet, at this point, I would say it was not the Russian government, but we can't rule it out. It's possible.
Right.
But yeah, if Russia is guilty of doing everything it's accused of, other countries would be over the moon if that's all the U.S. did to them instead of proxy wars and coups and murderous sanctions and hundreds of millions of dollars in spending to prop up opposition groups. I mean, it's
Not to mention, not to mention massive psyops operations, which is what Russia has been accused of. I mean, the United States has run humongous psyops operations
Totally.
in countries all over the world. I mean, all the way back, to Germany and Japan, and during World War II and after. I mean, all the way forward, dropping leaflets over, whole populations. I mean, sending in secret teachers and propagandists, and so it's it's a puddle, it's a drop
Yeah.
in the ocean of interference in other countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.